All right, everybody, welcome to Versus Live. My name is Corey Baumeister.
So you say.
So I say.
I'm Ross Miriam.
All right, we got Dan in the booth. Say what's up, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
God, he's just good. He is just good. He knows what's up. Dan will be taking all your questions, so make sure to tag at Star City Games if you want them sent over to us. We're still accepting taco questions, but mostly Magic questions is what we're after here. Tacos. So we're in preparation here for SCG Indianapolis, which I am super excited for. I did not get to play PT Phoenix due to weather, and I've even heard we got a little bad weather coming in today.
Some snow flurries. We're going to get like an inch.
Yeah,
We'll be fine. You know what's not fine, Corey?
What?
Your microphone.
What's
Did you
wrong?
forget to do something?
Oh, mic check. 1, 2. I never even turned it off. Maybe my battery's dying. That's
No,
not good.
I'm pretty certain you turned it off.
Yeah, I might have turned it off.
It's been a while since we've had one of those.
Good thing I talk loud. I bet you all still heard me. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. But speaking of that, a quick funny thing before we get started. So for those of you who don't know, I'm from Fargo, North Dakota is where I moved before here. And I was watching the news. I was watching the debate. Afterwards, I watched the news and just, carried on into it. And I was listening to the weatherman talk about, the snowfall. He's like, he's just super serious. He's like, all right, at 11 o'clock, this is when it really gets serious here. And I'm like, oh, no, what's up? They're like, up to an inch of snow, and I literally busted out laughing. I fell on the floor. I was slapping the ground, and then I just turned to the Fargo, North Dakota thing, and they're like, "Yep, we're expected to get only about 6 inches of snow today. Not bad. It's gonna be a good day." Roanoke, they're just like, "Yep, we're gonna shut down the town. We need to stay away do not drive." I was busting out laughing, but
We've had basically a snow-free winter. There was one night where we got some flurries, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I just thought it was so comical, so I had to share that with you. But one other thing we want to share with you, we are playing in preparation of SCG Indianapolis today. We are taking you through all the powerful decks, and now is what my pick is going to be, also what I'm playing, the Lotus Breach combo deck. I think it's insanely powerful. I think it's very hard to hate out. Cards like Getting of the Trial are not Magic cards. They're not hate cards against this one. You can win through that quite easily. But there are cards that are hate cards. And
There is card that is hate card.
There is card that is hate card. But the mixture of aggression, just in general, is a way to beat this deck. And I think Mono Red does have a very even to maybe even slightly favorable against Breach.
And it does depend on your build of Mono Red.
Of course.
This one is not as hateful against Breach as it could be because the Eidolons are in the sideboard.
Is Eidolon the card that you think is the best as far as a hate card for
the red deck?
For the main deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can sideboard Damping Sphere if you want even more against Breach.
Yeah.
Eidolon is quite good. It's also just good against Inverter.
Yeah.
If you catch them without the Fatal Push, they're casting Omen of the Seas and Ops and stuff like that. So
they're casting 2-mana spells that are 8-mana spells sometimes as well, but they're still good. Yeah.
So I like Eidolon quite a bit now. You'll see me board those in when we get to that portion. But
love it. That's in the board.
Yeah, where Mono Red has actually struggled is in other creature matchups.
Okay.
And the combo decks have pushed out a lot of those creature matchups, and now Mono Red gets to play against the decks where it's best and not against the decks where it's worst. So that helps it. I definitely think it's up there, with Bant Spirits now, whereas before I thought Bant was a little ahead.
Yeah. So one thing to add to that, one thing that I think the combo decks have done, like you say, is push out certain decks. But Sultai Delirium, I've been playing a decent amount of that because that's my favorite deck in Pioneer, but that doesn't mean it's the best deck.
Yeah.
But Sultai, I would just get destroyed by combo decks. So if I were a Sultai player going into this SCG, I would be a little afraid. And if you're an afraid Sultai player, that means a happy Mono Red player because that's less Uros.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
So that's the nightmare matchup for every aggressive deck, especially Mono Red, because it's the aggressive deck that is worst against Uro. Just can barely remove it. The card is a complete nightmare.
I mean, you saw Ben White's when he won GP Phoenix was just playing main deck Eldrazi Obligators because he's like, I can't beat it. And I talked to him after that. He was on my stream one night, and he's like, yeah, I still think it's a bad matchup. I'm like, wow, really?
He also had main deck Rampaging Ferocidon to stop the life gain.
Well, he also had a main deck Satyr's Cunning, so we maybe can't take too much to the...
Had everything in it.
He had it all. Okay, so you lost, so you're heading first.
Thanks for reminding me.
No problem.
My hand is reasonable.
All right, and you're going to get a lot of hands like this from Breach. This is a deck that mulligans a lot, but it mulligans quite well. I mean, this one's not even close, but I'm going to really talk through the Mulligan decisions because that's the main bulk of the deck. Yep. This one's not close. If there was another land, it was very debatable.
Like one of those strategic plannings was a land, especially a temple.
Yeah.
Then you're in good shape because then you get to see a bunch more cards towards a Lotus field.
Exactly. I can't even remember. Maybe I didn't have Sylvan Scrying, so maybe it was still a Mulligan.
You had Wayfinder.
Yeah, Wayfinder's reasonable. Yeah, if you have Wayfinder, strategic planning, 2 lands, and you do not have strategic planning or a Lotus field, I think that's still a keep. But I think you need 2 of those effects.
So you would have had 2, because that 7 was Yavimaya, double strategic planning, Satyr Wayfinder, Underworld Breach, Arboreal Grazer, Hidden Strings.
Yeah, and with the Grazer to be able to pop off with that would have been quite good as well.
So if the second planning was the land.
Okay, well, we're mulliganing here, so it will open up the amount of hands we can keep here. Now the question is this good enough? I don't think this is a very good hand. I think I have to mulligan this one.
Four.
I think we're going to 5 here. This is another close one, but now we don't have much action here. We'd have to get really lucky off the top 3 here. Wouldn't have, so that would have been pretty bad.
You need to find the field and action.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you can explosion something to kind of get going if you were a play to Vizier, but yeah, I think that one is a mulligan as well, and we're going to 5. Let's take a question while I mulligan.
Sure, we got a question actually from our good friend Rick BCW.
All right,
in the chat.
Up, Rick?
For both you and Corey, Ross, how do you beat Inverter if Lotus is not the deck for you?
I think Bant Spirits is reasonable in that matchup. So that would be my, like, if I wasn't playing Breach, Bant Spirits would be my backup deck. So that's where I would go.
Yeah, I think Bant Spirit just has a good matchup against a lot of things right now. Yeah.
Mono red, depending on your build, can be good, but oftentimes is behind or just kind of close. So I would lean Bant Spirits.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable. All right, I think we can keep this. It's not great. Now I'm debating. I think I actually probably want to get rid of these 2 and keep this. Yeah, let's try that.
Mountain go.
Okay.
No 1-drop.
No 1-drop. That's unfortunate because I got 1 Scry. Don't want another Grazer, so we'll put that to the bottom.
I will play Karizev.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. Okay, didn't want another Grazer. Drew a Grazer. All right, strategic planning here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we really need to find that Lotus field here. We did not, so we are going to have to take the card that digs us a little deeper. Pass to you.
Dan.
Yo.
Don't have a Ragavan.
Oh no. Kyle, again, over 2.
We got a 1/2 spider. We can just invert it. It's an inverting day here, so.
Well, I will attack and get Ragavan.
I'll block.
You'll take 1?
Yep.
Okay, how about you take another 1 and put this in the bin?
All right, Chain Whirler. That was the first damage I've taken, right? So I'm at 18?
Yep.
Okay. All right, done?
Pass the turn.
Now, we definitely need to find it this turn, and luckily we did. So we're going to go like this, get the Lotus field. We are definitely a turn behind here.
Wyatt Darby is Ragavan?
Wyatt Darby's Ragavan? Of course.
That's great.
Yeah, he got it after he won, so. All right, you're up. So we are a turn behind here, but luckily Grazers sped us up a turn, so we're kind of at the normal range, but I do feel in trouble still.
Okay, attack for 6.
Okay, I will take it.
Brings you to 12.
Yep. If we can live another turn without having to go for it next turn, that would be ideal, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
So we're 12, 20?
Yep.
12 to 20. Dope. 12 to infinite. We'll give him infinite.
Soulscar Mage.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right. Okay, so do we want to try to go for it now? And I think we probably do. 3 blue. All right, I got these somewhere. 3 blue. We're going to go down to 1 blue here. Vizier just nets you a mana, so we're going to cycle. 1 blue floating. Oh, that was an interesting one. So we needed an untap land there, and we got it. So we're going to go Thespian Stage, pour over the pages. So we're going to draw 3, discard, untap. Probably don't want this temple. 0 floating. Now, 3 blue, down to 1 blue, cycle. All right. So I don't think we're going to be able to do it. Now, the main question is, how can we try to stay alive? So we're at 12, so this is actually pretty reasonable. Let's go with, I already played a land. 3 green. Down to 2 green. Grazer. Bring in a Thespian stage, and we'll just copy here. Got a little Lotus field, and then I'll pass to you.
Okay. Now I have to figure out how I want to play this. There's 7 on the battlefield. So a land definitely kills Corey because I have Torbran.
You got Torben? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So we know land kills him. The question is, what if I draw Lightning Strike or Bone Crusher Giant? The best Arboreal Grazer does is soak up 3 damage.
Yep.
So that means I'm definitely casting, if I draw another burn spell, which is the other consideration, then this is going to be a 3 as well. So just sending those burn spells upstairs means any burn spell kills you. Sending 1 wild slash upstairs. I guess Monastery Swift Spear is another consideration. So, excuse me. So if I have Swift Spear, then I'm incentivized to hold these slashes. But if I send 1 upstairs, which is what I want to do, is it's still lethal with a Swift Spear. I'll put you at 8. These will be 2s. That'll be 1 short. So by sending us 1 slash upstairs right now, I turn Lightning Strike and Bone Crusher Giant into outs, but I sacrifice Swift Spear as an out.
Okay.
So it's worth it. So
All right.
you go to 10.
A 10.
Land or burn spell.
Dang it. Yeah, because I take 3, 4,
That's
5,
exactly
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, okay. So I want to back up to my turn now. We are dead, but we had 5 mana here, and there was a chance this was not copied, so all we had was this. Tapped 5 mana. We could have strategic planning down to 3. We would have had to hit Hidden Strings. So now we go down to 1, untap, 1 floating. We have to go up to 4, 2 floating. So now we're digging again. With 2 floating like this, because if we hit Breach, so we'd have, I do not think we can do it here. We'd need planning. Yeah, and we would have fizzled. So I think it was correct for us to go for it, because now this next turn, we were pretty likely to win. We would have drawn 1 extra card, or we would at least had a better chance.
Yeah.
So you really gotta recognize when you can or cannot go for it, because that is one of the pitfalls of the deck for sure.
Yeah. And I had 29 outs in my deck, I think.
Yeah.
Out of 3, 4, 5, out of 50 cards. So, like,
yeah.
You gave yourself your 40% shot of winning, which on a multi 5 is not bad.
Not bad. And, there was Torbran as an out, but usually not a ton of those in the list. So something I didn't truly consider. So I thought there was, like, a solid chance I would live. I really did. But, yeah, it happened. I knew there was a chance I would lose. So let's play another game 1 since that was pretty quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You got any questions for us?
Yeah. So, Cerilius asks, any thoughts on SRAM auras in the current metagame? Or does it feel a bit underplayed?
I actually think that deck's pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that deck is underrated.
Yeah.
It was a consideration for me after Breach and Bant Spirits.
Yep, and I think our own Emma Handy just wrote a great write-up on that went live today on Star City Games. So if you're interested on that, I know she went really deep on specific cards and the viability of it. I didn't read all of it, but I started it, and it looked like a really good read.
Yeah. There was a list recently that won a challenge.
Yep.
Cut the 2 favorite hoplites.
Okay.
And was playing Dryad Militant in that spot.
What does that do?
So white or green mana, so in this case white,
Yep.
for a 2/1, and it says if an instant or sorcery would go to the graveyard, instead exile it. So it makes it a lot harder to set up those quick inverter kills. It's really good against Breach, and it's just a Savannah Alliance.
Yeah.
that
I don't like that.
That you can protect.
Nah, okay, don't read that article. Don't read that article. Anyone going to SCG that may play it, don't read that. We don't need that card in there.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. That's great.
Drive Milton is a nice one.
I like it. I like it. Okay, keep the questions coming in. I'm going to be on the play this time.
All right. From Matt Brown, MTG, how do you guys feel about Ash Zealot in mono red for the Breach
You were
matchup?
pretty hyped on that card, right?
Not really. Like, I think if you're going to play a card, like a hate card, Eidolon is just better.
Okay.
And I don't think there's really space to play both.
Okay, that's
So,
reasonable.
It just gets pushed out by Eidolon.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
it's not that good outside of the Breach matchup, too. Like, that ability. And
Yeah.
you're already pretty good against Breach, especially if you make Eidolon. So,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Okay, well, I am a fan of this hand. This hand does some things, so we're going to keep.
My hand is okay. I think it's keep.
I will scry. Ooh, that's an interesting land on top.
Little blast zone.
Home. Hey! I guess that is the only interesting land in the deck.
I don't think New Rivulet is interesting against me.
Hey, you're right. You're right.
I guess, it could have been Sheltered Thicket, I guess.
I'm going to keep it on top. I kind of want a land, so.
You would scry Sheltered Thicket to the bottom if you were thinking of cycling it.
Probably,
so that
yeah.
was also not interesting. So, of course, I draw a second 1-drop.
Of course, of
Attack for
course.
1.
All right.
19.
19.
You're up.
Okay, we're going to draw. We're going to play a Botanical Sanctum, and now the question is, do we want to play a little defense, or do we want to just go get our Lotus Field now? I think I would rather play a little bit of defense. Here you go. This usually can soak up quite a bit of damage, or at least soak up one Wild Slash.
Attack.
I'll block.
Slash the fairy.
Okay. I'll take 2, go down to 17.
You're at 17. You're up.
All right.
So it soaked up 4 damage.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay, so now we're going to Sylvan Scrying for the Lotus Field and pass to you.
So not playing it.
Yeah.
It's going to skip your land drop.
Exactly, yep.
Attack for 2.
Okay, no blocks.
15. Chain Whirler, you go to 14.
Okay. 14.
Pass the turn.
Okay. I think we're going to at least try it here. I think we're decently likely to win on this turn. So we're going to start with the cycle. Untap.
Okay.
Do we play Blast Zone just in case this doesn't work? That seems probably pretty smart. Let's go with Blast Zone. 5. Pour over the pages.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Discard this. Okay, so probably can't win now. We didn't get too much help off that.
Yeah, you're at 14. You can
Oh,
blow up
yeah.
my 2 Swift Spears. You have plenty of time.
Yep, agreed. And we're actually going to do even a little bit better than that.
Nope.
We're going to go with 4. We're going to go down
Can't do
to
any
2
better.
blue.
Best you can do.
Best I can do, huh? 6. All right, we're going to go Hidden Strings here. 2 floating. We're going to go green. We're going to go down to 1 green floating. Thank you for that.
Play Satyr Wayfinder.
Satyr Wayfinder. Or we'll get this. And then we're just going to blow this up. So yeah, didn't get to win that time. Our pour over the pages didn't give us any combo things, but we did shrink the board decent enough here.
That's a pretty good draw. Lets us pretty cleanly go Chandra plus for mana, stomp the Wayfinder,
Okay.
attack for 3.
All right, I'm down to 11.
Pass the turn.
Okay.
And Corey probably can even take this turn off. I only have 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
If his hand is great, maybe he goes for it. But
I think I definitely have to take this turn off, so I'll pass to you.
and yeah, the most I have right here is 7.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Torben would be 9, right? Yeah. It's not too bad. Yeah, our hand's not developing great here, that's for
It's
sure.
plus to exile.
Okay.
Take 2.
All right, I'm at 9.
9. Attack for 3.
Okay. 6.
6. Play a land. Play Bone Crusher Giant.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
All right, I will make a Lotus Field. We're definitely up against it now. It's very unlikely we'd live through another turn, so we're just going to have to try. And our hand keeps getting worse.
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
I did not think I was going to get to turn 6 this game, but maybe I will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. I think we have to start with 3 blue. Cycle. Wow. Okay, so now what do we have to draw? We have to get lucky at this point. We're going to go to 4 blue, down to 2 hidden strings. So now we have all lands and 1 explosion here. So we have to explosion something. We can play 1 land still. I wonder if it's worth it to play the Scry. So if there's a world where we can leave ourselves with 4 mana, that's ideal, because then we can get Breach.
There's no way the Scry is worth it, because the land is worth a card.
Exactly, yeah.
Untapped land is, yeah.
Yep, that's totally true. So we can just play this Botanical Sanctum, and now I want to somehow leave this available. That is explosioning for 1. That sucks.
I mean, that seems like the best plan, right? Just try to rip the Breach. What else are you drawing to with 2 cards? Then you need, like, multiples.
Then I need hidden strings and something.
Yeah, which is just way harder.
Yeah, so, but I could explosion enough to actually kill this and then get a chump blocker, then get a grazer or something, you know?
Well, you'd explosion
I'd
this and
chump that.
And then presumably you'd live it 2.
Yep. Yep. So that's reasonable there as well. So, I mean,
that would probably try to leave yourself with 2 mana then. And...
or wait, we just floated this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was untapped. So 3 red. So this would be for what we would have to do here. This would be an explosion for 1 at the dome. Hope it's a breach.
Yeah. Or you can explosion for 3 at the Chain Whirler and hope to find either Fae of Wishes or Arboreal Gracer in the 3 cards.
Or Satyr Wayfinder. Or get lucky and get Hidden Strings plus Fae or Hidden Strings plus Breach. I would like to know what the numbers are on this, because I think it's close.
My instinct is just flip for the Breach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you're trying to give yourself like multiple outs and you introduce all these variables, you end up just getting worse because none of them are good for you. So you just are putting like 4 not quite as bad things together, and the multiplier effect generally makes it worse. Plus, I have a stomp in my hand, so like you're not gonna live.
That makes it more interesting then. All right, we're doing it for 1. 1 to you. And draw a card. Dang it. Well, so far we're better off doing the 3. Let's see if we would have did for 2 more. All right, we would have still been dead. Dead either way.
You hit your grazer and then died.
Yeah, we drew a little bit too many lands. Too many lands. All right, well, that was the first 2 games being handily won by Mono Red.
Yeah, I think you were pretty far ahead in that second game and just drew pretty poorly to lose that one.
Yeah.
But that's why aggression is so important, because it means that when they do stumble, you just end the game.
Yeah.
You know, against like Azorius control, you would have still been very much in that game.
Oh, my hand would have been great. All I'm doing is just Thespian Stage, go, animate, then Thespian Stage, go, animate, eventually explosion, you had end step, okay, you counter it, draw, pour over the pages, whatever, win the game. But yeah. You were you were a little too fast out of the gates. My draws didn't line up exactly perfect, and we weren't there. You know, I did draw 1 extra card. If I would have drawn 1 extra card, it would have been that hidden string. So if I bottom Blast Zone, maybe I actually... I did search and stuff too, so I guess that doesn't truly matter.
You would have probably also had 1 fewer turn if you hadn't blast zoned me.
That's true. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We're going to head to the sideboards, and we'll be right back here with Lotus Breach combo up against Mono Red Aggro. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, we are back here with Versus Live, sideboarding against Lotus Breach combo up against the bad person of the format, Mono Red.
Oh yeah, I'm the enemy here.
Yeah.
Somehow Mono Red is like the hero at this point with all these combo
I think Mono Red is the hero. So from my end, the sideboarding from this comes down to just kind of a checklist of questions that you ask yourself to start. And the first one is always about Expansion Explosion. Will they or can they get rid of my Fae of Wishes? If the answer is yes, you keep it in. If the answer is no, you take it out. That's the rule I follow on that. Satyr Wayfinder, if they block effectively, I keep them in. If they don't, I take them out. You have Chain Whirler. Now, and granted, I didn't know you were going to be taking them out, but I still usually like to take these out over Grazers against mono red deck because these are also a ramp deck. Dig Through Time. Usually the question I ask myself on this is, will they exile my graveyard? And I know you might have some crypts, but that's the lower end of caring about that. But the story of this one is you just don't have time for Dig.
Yeah.
You know,
Dig is very good if your opponent is interacting with you with counter spells and discard spells.
Yeah. And on the play, I like to trim down to 3 Grazers against basically everything where speed isn't for sure about the factor. This is about speed, but I am bringing in some ways to react, so I'm okay taking out 1 Grazer. On the draw, I would probably bring the other one back in. And then hate cards we're bringing in, dealing with either Eidolon, Tormod's Crypt, Leyline if you're feeling froggy or whatever, but have that answer to those is great. And then a couple Wrath effects while still maintaining what we need here in the form of a Blink to go get if you were to have a, Leyline or something crazy. I still have that one way to bounce it in my sideboard as well as a Deliverance in my board. And then if I need another Wrath, I got that 3rd hour to search for. Very, very important. You got to be aware of what you can still grant it for. And don't take it for granted.
So you've given yourself and not just enough versatility with granted while having a good density of interaction in your configuration.
I've been able to maximize the amount of high impact sideboard cards that I can allow to put into the main with still having enough gas in the sideboard. I think is the perfect way to describe it.
Optimize under that constriction.
I like it. What do you got?
On my side, Eidolon the Great Revel is the key card here. The questionable thing is how many Tormod scripts do I want? And I just cannot stomach bringing in a ton of them because they're huge diminishing returns. Because for the most part, it's going to sit there. It's not a card that you just fire off. It's just going to sit there for a while, and Corey's going to have to bait it with something. You're going to have to kill it with one of these, or play 1 Breach when you have another one.
Yeah, or play Breach when I just have a page, pour over the pages in hand, but I have gas in the graveyard. It's like, play Breach, and be like, I have to get rid of it. And it's like, okay, still kill you,
So the first copy has value because it's another hoop to jump through, but successive copies have, much, much less value. So very high diminishing returns. I've decided to bring in 2 copies to give myself a better chance of drawing the first. Goblin Chain Roller is just the worst creature, I think, in the deck, the least explosive, so that's what gets cut for Eidolon. The Chandra is a little slow in this matchup, and then because I'm lowering my curve by quite a bit, I've decided to cut a land. I went with the Ramunap Ruins just because you don't have time.
Yeah.
This is a very condensed game. That's why you're bringing out Dig Through Time. Ramunap Ruins, you just don't have time to sacrifice, so I want to leave in all the mountains so I don't stumble with Castle Embereths. I think Castle is a little bit more explosive than this card. You're not killing my creatures, so oftentimes it'll be 4 mana, deal 2, maybe even more than that.
I think that's genius for what it's worth. People do not take out lands enough, especially when they're on the draw. People just that escapes from their mind, and I think that's the perfect land to take out. People really got to recognize that sometimes it is correct to take out a land. I even take out a land sometimes with this deck against Azorius Control where I'm going super long and I don't really need, another
and you just
some
want
kind of
threat
land.
density.
Exactly. So keep that in mind. That's a good lesson to learn.
It'll be a nice 23 land.
All right.
So, taco time.
Taco time. All right.
So,
It's not
Jay,
quite taco time, Dan. We got to do 2 more matches.
Yeah, sorry, Dan.
come on, man.
You can come with, bud, but
right.
we have to do the show first.
So, Jay Wade asks, what are your favorite places to go and get tacos?
Okay. Well, Martin's has been quickly one of my favorites around Roanoke.
Yeah, they do taco night on Thursdays here.
But I've always just loved, so back in Fargo, North Dakota, they had a place called Vinyl Taco. It's similar. They make like the little street tacos, kind of like Tuco's does.
Yep.
And, just the little cheap tacos that have just like great quesos. But I've always just been a Taco John's fan, but we just don't have one here.
Yeah, it's not a thing here.
Yeah.
There's a really good taco place here in Roanoke called Tacos Rojas.
Yep.
So that's generally where I go when I want like really authentic Mexican tacos.
Yep.
And actually, I'll say as a PSA for people going to the Open this weekend in Indianapolis, about 2 blocks from the convention center towards the mall, there's a place called Nada. There's a Mexican restaurant that has really good tacos.
What do you say? Should we eat there tomorrow? Should we have back-to-back tacos?
I'm in.
All right, so if you go there tomorrow and you're at SCG in Indianapolis, you might see us clowns eating some tacos.
Little do you know, I had tacos yesterday, too.
Yeah, Indy's a great spot for food for
it is.
the Open.
Indy is one of my favorite cities. Last time I was in Indy, you know what I found my love for?
What?
Scooters. Me and Ely took those Lime scooters around the whole city for like a day, and we were just both just loving it. Right away, he's like, I don't know if I want to do that, and by the end, he's like, no, come on, man, we'll put some more money on these. Let's do this.
All right, last food question real fast.
Okay.
Jada Pleb asks, it says he's going to Vegas with some friends this weekend. Any non-Italian food recommendations?
Lotus of Siam. It's a Thai restaurant off the strip. All the Magic players rave about it. Often I find when Magic players rave about a place, it's overrated.
Yeah.
Lotus of Siam is quite good.
Really?
Yes.
I think I do Vegas a lot different than people.
And there's a place.
I don't eat. No, I'm just kidding.
The food is the best part of Vegas. Whatever major street is on the east side of the strip, because there's one on the west side and one on the east that runs parallel along it. Along that road is a place in a little strip mall called, this is what it's called, Tacos and Beer. And they have very good tacos.
Oh, good.
How can you go wrong?
You can get and there's actually another incredible taco place. It's it's a chain, but it's like a local chain. Tacos Al Gordo, I think it's the name of it. It's open super late. You go in and there's like different lines for what filling you want in your taco, because the al pastor, when it's traditionally made on the vertical rotisserie and they carve it off, they literally just have a rotisserie there that they carve it straight into the taco and then hand it to you. And it's good because they have all the organ meats that working class people use, like the tripe and beef tongue, lengua. I'm not sure if they have pork stomach, buche, but they definitely have tripe and lengua, which are both quite good.
This all sounds so gross.
Beef tongue is good.
Okay.
If you haven't had it.
If you season it well, I guess.
See, what I always do when I go to Vegas, I eat one meal a day, and my favorite by far is the Bellagio's buffet. But I just always eat just one gigantic buffet at like 3 p.m. At one of the casinos, and those are my favorite. You just get everything, So
if Jeremy were in this room right now, he would be suggesting Bacchanal.
Yeah, the one at Caesars.
The buffet at Caesars.
Yeah, I pretty much just go to casino, just trying. I like the Flamingos one as well, but yeah.
There's a place near Gold Spike in downtown Vegas that was also quite good, and I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Ross. It was Tacos El Gordo.
Tacos El Gordo. That place is incredible.
I love it. Okay, well, now I'm getting even more hungry, but how about we play some Magic?
Yeah, my hand's great.
My hand's not. My hand is unplayable. I could go turn one Lotus Field to the bin. So we're going to shuffle. Let's take another question if you got it, Dan.
So, Ross, a couple people in chat were actually wondering, why are you running Chain Whirler over Rabble Master?
So this is just a list I pulled off that did well in some tournament. I think, so Chain Whirler, the combo with Torburn is quite nice in all the creature matchups. I think it helps out a little bit against spirits as well. So you got to kind of weigh that. It's still a reasonable creature in other matchups. So it's really just weighing how much you want to target the top couple decks versus how much you want to be a little bit more well-rounded. And mono red, your tools are pretty good against Breach. They're a little bit less good against Inverter. And those are the matchups where Rabble Master would help you. But Rabble's pretty bad in the creature matchups. So that's the reason why. Obviously, you can make the decision for yourself, depending on the upcoming metagame. I think if I were to build mono red, I would be main decking Eidolon. And at that point, Eidolon is so bad against creature decks, I think you have to make some concessions elsewhere. So I don't think I'd be playing Rabble Master.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I would go all the way to be playing Chain Whirler. I kind of like being really low to the ground. I'm going to play some Zergo Bell Strikers, maybe some more burn spells.
Yeah.
And go that route. But Chain Whirler is another route to help compensate for the Eidolons being bad against creature decks.
I like it. Okay, so I am going to have to keep this hand. It does have a fail rate here, but this is the type of hand you got to keep. I would much rather be on the draw with this. But now my only choice is which one of these to bottom. And it's, do I play to deal with some hate, or do I try to be as explosive as possible? And that's just plain and simple what I have to ask myself. And I think on the play, I just want to try to combo off, and we're going to put this on the bottom since we have another hate card here as well. So, okay.
And you're on the board.
All right, we're going to scry and bottom that, and we'll say go.
Okay, I have a Soul Scar Mage.
Okay.
That's turn.
Draw. Go. We had to take the risk here. The fail rate with this, with the Scry land as well as with the Lotus Field, it is almost always a keep, but there is a fail rate.
Okay.
Especially when I'm mulliganing. Yep, 19.
And I know this is not going to get me any value unless I hit Tormod Script.
That's true.
So I should have done this pre-combat. Let's pretend I did that.
Okay.
But I just want to get a creature down and start pressuring. You know,
Sure.
just playing this as a 2-1 prowess is a legitimate mode. You don't have to maximize every
I love that
card
we're
of the
going to be
card.
talking about how busted this breach deck is, and we're just going to get destroyed over here.
I'll draw land.
Nope. Okay, we're dead.
Otherwise,
Your
you're
turn.
very dead. Let's go Swift Spear,
Yep.
attack, lightning strike you.
Okay.
So this is 7 with the prowess triggers, +3 is 10. You're at 9.
All right, makes sense.
Pass the turn.
All right.
Got 3 more burn spells for you.
Right on time. Yeah, we're dead. So I still stand by the keep, but it was this.
Oh, yeah.
This.
With the Viziers, too, and the hour.
So this was the keep. It is a brutal situation because sometimes you miss, but you got 2 looks at it.
If you just hit the land a turn earlier, I think you would have been good.
I think so too. And the card I bottomed was Unravel here to play around the hate. So if I got to do this on time, I think I would have won. But you know, there's a fail rate to the deck.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
And this was a very good draw out of my side. This is just a straight up turn 4 kill, and it probably would have been turn 4 through like an Arboreal Grave.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Want to take a couple questions before we
Let's
toss
take
a break?
2 questions here. But before we take those questions, I just got to say, you know, I meant to chuck all these games with Breach because, listen, this deck is unplayable. I mean, look what I did. It's unplayable. Damping Sphere is just a thing of the past. I don't think we need it for this tournament. I mean, who would play this deck? Continue.
Okay, so first off, shout out to Drop Bear MTG, who woke up at 5 a.m. Australian time to come and watch us.
Oh,
greetings to you from Australia.
Greetings.
Wow,
So
that is some commitment.
that is
Greeting, mate.
commitment.
Right? Mate is definitely a very popular word in Australia, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I guess. They have a lot of weird slang in Australia.
Oh yeah. So a quick stop. You won here one time. I was with Riley Knight in the airport, and we were just hanging out, playing some Moto. We both had like 5 hours before our flight, and he's just like, I just gotta tell you, man. Me and my girlfriend just love your accent. And I'm just like, what? And he's just like, we love your accent. Will you just record a video with your most North Dakotan accent? I was like, oh, you betcha. And like recorded a whole long video. And I was like, well, you know what's coming now, right? Like, I need a really Australian accent. So we both have videos on each other's phones of us just going deep on the accent. I'll have to show you after this. It's quite funny.
That is great.
All right, let's take one more question before we send off to our third match.
Actual question. MBusk1 asks, do you think Hollow One could be possible in Pioneer or in Modern with new toys like Cork's the Ox of Agonis and Underworld Breach?
I didn't know the card was legal, so I'll let you take this one.
I know Martin Juza was working on a Hollow One list like a month ago.
Okay.
And it was like, you know, it's kind of cool, but I don't think he got it anywhere where like it was going to be super competitive. It was kind of like an F&M deck.
Sure.
Honestly, I have to imagine that deck is like at least 1 card away. You know, you do have Burning Inquiry and Goblin Lore, I think, in Pioneer.
I don't think Goblin
No, Goblin Lore's in
but-
10th, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I've always
They're all in weird core sets.
Yeah, whenever I've been like pro tour testing, my brother has always gotten on my case, and this has been kind of like the weakness of things. I'll be like suggesting, I was like, "What about we play that?" And he's like, "Rotated 2 years ago, bro." And I'm like, "Okay."
So no, then.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, this card seems like a good alternative. He's like, rotated last year, and I'm like, I'm gonna go outside. One more question if you got it down, and then we'll head to the break.
Sure. Captain Markov, they ask, is Cindervines good against Breach? That pensive look on Ross's face makes me doubt its viability.
If you have an aggressive deck and you get it down, no, I don't think so. You know,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have that like
it might be 2 mana deal 4 or 5, and if like you're pressuring enough, maybe that is okay.
and stop a breach for a turn or something.
Seems like
that.
Eidolon's just much better in that spot, unless
Yeah.
you want both.
But if you're playing like a Gruul beatdown deck, you know, and that's a sideboard card that you're going to bring in a couple other matchups too, like it would come in, but it's not.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like rather than leaving in shock or something,
Yeah.
you know, like it could be in, but
it's not going to shut them down. But it's a fine card. Like if you were choosing that instead of, you know, some other disenchant effect,
yeah.
because you wanted a disenchant of some kind, then yeah, choose that one because it'll come in this matchup, whereas something like Destructive Revelry would.
Yeah, but then you also have the problem with like, you know, if I were to go Underworld Breach and like the game has gone decently long, and if you're playing cards like that, cards like that, Leyline, Rest in Peace, the games go a little bit longer because you're stripped of resources, you're hindering me from doing things. So games tend to go a little bit longer, and at that point, maybe I have enough cards in my graveyard. Maybe I can go Breach. My first spell I play is Breach. And then you do not do anything with that.
But if that's the case, then I can just leave the Cindervines on the battlefield, and you can't really Tome Scour yourself, right? You probably don't have that much life to Tome Scour and mill yourself.
I mean, the first thing you go and get, you just Hidden Strings, get a bunch of mana. First thing you go and get is just Nature's Claim, and then do, or Ugin or whatever. But, I mean, there is corner cases where that could be okay.
Yeah. And that one is, unlike Rest in Peace, that one's going to deal some damage over the course of the game, so it's not going to slow you down as much. So I think that card in small numbers out of specific decks is fine.
I think that card was for Nexus of Fate, Wilderness Reclamation. That's where it made sense because they were casting so many spells and it was hard to deal with. Plus, it killed the thing where both modes were good. If only one mode of those are good, there's better alternatives out there. So
and that's the case here. Both modes are they're not great in the matchup, right? The Disenchant can be good. The other mode can be good.
So when they're both not great, then you definitely don't want it.
And that's one of the reasons the Breach deck is good. None of these cards are, wow, this is amazing, other than Damping Sphere. But that one, can definitely contribute to a reasonable plan.
All right, I love it. Well, we are 1-1, so we are going to be playing for the marbles next round. I am going to be piloting what I think is the king or queen of the creature decks. I think Sultai Delirium just gives the beatdown to any deck that is trying to attack your life total. And it is my favorite deck. When it's not paired up against a combo deck, it's gonna usually be good, with the exception of one creature deck that you're going to be playing, which is a very close matchup.
I'm going to be playing Bant Spirits. The Bant deck having good counter spells and disruption, ways to protect its creatures, and Nebelgast Herald to contain Uro are all really important dynamics. So it's a really cool matchup. The games tend to go a little bit long, and there's a lot of different decision points. So we're going to bring that one to you and finish out our day with it.
These would be, for the record, these would be my third and fourth decks that I would play at Indianapolis if for some reason my combo legs were cut from under me. Those are the two decks I'd be considering becoming. I think they're both very strong decks that can beat combo decks if they're geared correctly.
And for me, Bant would be my number 2, and Sultai Delirium would be way at the bottom of the list because I just don't play those kinds of decks.
And honestly, Inverter might be 2 and 3 for me. I would not want to play Inverter Mirrors all day, so I think I would probably not play Inverter even if this was there, to be realistic with myself.
Okay, so 5-minute break, and we will be back with our last match on Versus Live. Don't go anywhere.